At this time, it's reported that all 9 of the children who had been diagnosed with this mystery illness are doing well, including the 2 who needed the liver transplants. This right here is just part of the destruction left behind one of the fires in downtown Dothan. Lockheed Martin has the capabilities of producing 2,100 anti-tank Javelin missiles a year. Those missiles are produced right here in Troy, Alabama, and have been vital in fighting Russian forces. If you're taking a stroll through downtown Dothan, you're more than likely to run into an older abandoned building like the 2 right behind me. City officials believe this vision will not only benefit the people living here 5 to 10 years from now, but rather generations to come. The owner of Honeybee Teas is officially ready to open her doors and bring a new business to downtown Dothan. With no funds to keep these roads good as new, Henry County commissioners have to think of other ways to get these roads repaved. Plans for revitalization on this abandoned motel in downtown Dothan are currently underway. The fire here at Midland Elementary School broke out shortly after 6 o'clock this evening, and the classroom right behind me, which is a kindergarten classroom, is considered a total loss. 47-year-old Christopher Stevens was driving his Honda Civic when he ran off Alabama Highway 189, flipped over, and was pronounced dead at the scene. Commissioner Kevin Dorsey tells me he has received many phone calls from concerned parents regarding their kids' safety within Dothan City schools. The retail, hospitality, and restaurant industries aren't the only ones being impacted. The medical industry is also having trouble filling vacant positions. It was just this past Sunday when the family was getting ready for Palm Sunday services when they realized their daughter and sister, 17-year-old Melissa Valenta Johnson, was missing. Candidates running for Commissioner Brandon Shoup's District 4 seat say they are both ready to help that part of the county continue to grow. Michelle Edwards of Midland City was driving through this very intersection when she drove into an oncoming train. Laboratory testing have ruled out hepatitis type A, B, C, and E viruses, but Alabama has seen an increase in hepatitis in children since November. The city reimagined what the Doug II Center could be used for, and today commissioners approved a $1 million renovation that will help people with special needs in our community. Reports of COVID-19 cases and hospitalizations have been the lowest here in the Wiregrass since the start of the pandemic. The family wants to thank the community for their prayers and say if anyone would like to make a contribution, they prefer those donations be made to the Lovetown Fire Department. Landowners who have been against Dothan expanding its dump have asked city commissioners to compare and let the public know how much it is to operate its dump and how much it's costing the city of Dothan to ship that waste annually.
Based on numbers I've been told from people within the building here that it was much higher to operate and run that landfill.
WDHN has reached out to the city multiple times this week asking for clarification on how much the landfill costs the city to operate. Those requests were denied. City spokesman Vincent telling us, quote, "We've been down this road before and won't be talking about the expenses." He claims they already knew it was cheaper to expand the landfill than ship trash to Florida, but others disagree.
I've been told that it's costing more for us to own the landfill and operate it than it was costing for us to pay waste management to take our garbage.
The city created a solid waste fund in 2020 that's supposed to operate as a separate fund, but the city still had to take $3.3 million from the general fund for this year and next year in order to pay all the bills. A recent Dothan budget report projects they'll need around $10.8 million this fiscal year and another $10.8 million for next year, with total expenses to operate the city dump coming to over $1.6 million each year, which is actually more than what the mayor said it costs to haul the trash to Florida. It's about $1 million to ship it out of state, or?
That was a figure that was used some time ago. So, you know, with fuel costs up and all that, I can imagine that the cost could be a lot more than that now.
But even if it's a little more than $1 million a year, that's still more than the $1.6 million budgeted for the dump.
When we pay waste management to take it, they're also taking a liability of that garbage.
This is where it would go, across the state line, just 30 minutes from Dothan in Campbellton, Florida. Houston County also uses this facility to dispose of some of its waste. Other towns and cities also find it more cost-effective than running their own landfill. It's what landowners near Dothan's dump would like to see. They've long complained that toxic materials near them pose a health hazard.
Go back to just transporting it to Campbellton, and we're done with the problem. Because you can't keep kicking the can down the road because it's going to end up right back in front of you.
Lewis says this isn't a battle against the mayor or the city, but rather a battle against what's right and what's wrong. Stay with WDHN as we continue to follow this developing story. Reporting from Campbellton, Alex Valdez, WDHN News for the Wiregrass. I'm here just south of Damascus Hilton Road in Early County, where you could see right behind me some extensive damage from a possible tornado that touched down. A steel barn that stood over 16 feet tall, which stored a diesel truck and tractor used for farming, is completely destroyed after that possible tornado swept through just the area south of 3 Notch Road in Centerville. The owners say there was also damage to their crops and irrigation system. As you could see, the storm completely tipped over that irrigation system over to its side. And just to give you an idea of how powerful that storm was, this tree that once looked like it stood 15 feet or taller is completely uprooted from that possible tornado. That tree fell just feet away from a home and left its large branches all over the owner's yard. The trunk itself was at least 10 feet in width and stood just over 10 feet tall. At least one other home had a tree down in its yard, and just about every yard in the area had branches and debris left behind. According to law enforcement, a power line was also taken down due to the possible tornado. At this time, the people impacted by the severe storm that swept through this area are just trying to assess and pick up the damage. The woman who owns the barn right behind me tells me she's just thankful her family is safe and accounted for. Reporting from Early County, Alex Valdez, WDHN News for the Wiregrass.
It's the bestest thing.
12-year-old Hudson Jones got his first bike at 6 and ever since has been cycling his way to gold.
It helps a lot. The cycling helps a lot with his gross motor skills.
Yes.
Hudson is diagnosed with Williams syndrome, a rare genetic disorder where he is missing part of chromosome 7. His condition is known to cause stiff muscles and cardio problems.
Some of the issues that he can have is, like balance issues. Well, riding a bicycle kind of helps with those.
Those balance issues makes it almost impossible for Hudson to ride a 2-wheel bike.
Oh man,
But on his tricycle, anything is possible.
I'm good at this side.
The exercise, the movement for him, being able to be active, because there's a lot of things that he can't do.
What many people take for granted can go a long way for somebody who has a disability.
One little girl can now write her name just from strengthening her fingers from being able to ride her bike. We've had another lady that she lost 25 pounds the first year she rode her bike.
They can exercise.
Helping turn a disability into an ability is the goal behind John Jam. The organization has given back close to 250 bikes to families with a loved one living with special needs.
We do 3-wheeled bikes for those that can't ride a traditional bike, and we have therapists that custom fit them based on their needs.
Costing almost $1,000, these bikes are nothing but beneficial to families.
Tired.
Growing with them, helping build friendships, and most importantly, putting a smile on their son's face.
Well, I think we've got him adjusted out as big as this one I get, but now he's had it for several years, and it's more versatile and adjustable to different people's sizes.
Showing these bikes go a long way for families like the Jones.
Yes.
In Dothan, Alex Valdez, WDHN News for the Wiregrass.